How's it going, guys? It's your boy Alex, aka Bullet Punch Tech, aka the King of 6-0s, aka the LeBron of Pokemon. Today I have a team builder for you guys for a league that I'm in called the PBL. I'm facing off against Birdle and the Grand Rapids Rapidashes. Before I begin, I gotta say I'm pretty excited for this upcoming season. I think I drafted a really good team that shows off the strengths that I have as a battler and player. To start us off, we have Mega Diancie, aka Aang, aka the Avatar, aka bald on top, but I still got it. So with Aang, I have a pretty standard mixed attacking set. You can see I have 8 IVs and EVs in attack, and then just max and special attack with a nearly max spread in speed. What this allows me to do is outspeed the majority of Birdle's team. The only Pokemon that outspeed it are Noivern and Swoobat. With the speed stat that I have, I will outspeed Jolly Kartana by at least or by 1 speed stat. And the reason why I'm bringing Diancie is for, well, a couple reasons. One, its coverage essentially hits her team everything for extremely hard damage. There's only a few Pokemon that it doesn't hit for super effective damage, but at the same time, the Pokemon that doesn't hit super effectively, it actually will likely OHKO just with its normal stabs. The Pokemon that I'm really talking about are like Porygon, Hippowdon. I think it should 2 KO unless she runs a max special defense set. Looking at my set right now, I think I'm actually going to change something. I'm going to change my nature to hasty, because I actually want to use my my Diancie as a switch into a couple of her special attackers like Chandelure, potentially, as well as something like Rotom, which I could use to either bounce back Will-O-Wisps, or just in general use that, or as a switch into to Noivern. So I think that a hasty nature would actually do me much better. Diancie's purpose for this match is really hit things hard, prevent hazards with Magic Bounce. As you can see, her only potential hazard setters are Excadrill and Hippowdon, which kind of limits her. Hippowdon is pretty threatening to Diancie, but I think that having to predict either clicking Earthquake or Stealth Rocks will prove pretty difficult. So I think that just in general, Diancie has a very good matchup, and I think it's going to be a really good bring this week. Next, I have Kotaro, aka Miss Go With The Flow, aka I don't have any other AKAs for Kotaro, but for this set, I'm going with a pretty bulky set, and what this thing is supposed to do is check almost all of her special attackers. Something like Noivern, something like Chandelure can't really touch this thing at all. It also hard walls Aromatisse, unless it runs Thunderbolt, but even then it's going to do like 15-20% at most with my specially defensive spread. What this special defensive spread does is it gives me it actually gives me it allows me to live 2 Thunderbolts from a Scarf Porygon Z after Rocks, which I think was a pretty good benchmark, because a lot of her other special attackers can't really touch Empoleon, so I thought that was a pretty good benchmark to run. Leftovers are there so I can get residual health after taking hits from something like Noivern or Chandelure. Scald is there because Scald is like one of the best moves in the game. It hits something like Hippowdon pretty hard, and it's just a good move to spam so I can burn something if she wants to switch in a Pokemon like Kartana into this thing. Flash Cannon gives me good neutral coverage versus a lot of her other threats, aside from like Rotom, which kind of hard walls this thing. I also have Defog in case she does get rocks up somehow. I can always defog those away. And I have Stealth Rocks of my own because Stealth Rocks actually hurt her team pretty badly. She has a lot of Pokemon that are weak to rocks. This set is just a standard support set. I think that it's going to put in good work for this week. So on to my next Pokemon, which is Volcarona, aka Zuko, aka the Prince of the Fire Nation, aka scar on my face, but I'm still sexy. So this thing is actually a huge threat, just a huge threat to her team. As you can see, I'm running Quiver Dance, Flamethrower, Giga Drain, and Psychic with the Psychium Z. My spread is max special attack and enough speed to outspeed a timid Porygon. So my plan for this match is to either sweep with Volcarona or Zygarde. Now Volcarona I think has maybe even probably the best sweeping potential, just because after +1 I can one-hit KO nearly everything on her team, either with my fire move or Z move. And also it can also potentially check some of her special attackers, or even Kartana, because Kartana doesn't generally carry coverage to hit Volcarona, and I can always get a Flame Body burn. I do think that this Pokemon has a very, very high chance to sweep this week. And I do think that the Psychium Z will come in handy a lot, just because something that she might use to check this thing, maybe Chandelure, because Volcarona doesn't usually have coverage to hit Chandelure, and she might not guess that this is what I would bring. So Volcarona is certainly a very big threat. Next, I have my boy Alolan Persian, aka Sokka, aka quick with a joke, but I still got a plan. So my boy Sokka right here actually has an interesting set for sure. The moveset isn't too weird. It's just Parting Shot, Foul Play, Taunt, and Toxic. I think that this is a pretty good set to bring against her. Taunt for sure is good for like Hippowdon. Toxic allows me to wear down something like Hippowdon or Rotom Wash. Foul Play allows me to do massive damage to her really strong physical attackers. But the most important move I think is Parting Shot. Now I can use Parting Shot on something like if she either switches or something that isn't a very strong attacker, I can Parting Shot on something and get a switch into either my Volcarona or my Zygarde. And what that will do is it'll allow me to set up on anything really. The ability Fur Coat gives me pretty high defense, enough to check some of her physical attackers decently well. My spread, as you can see, is enough speed to outspeed Porygon Z, and a specially defensive spread. What this will allow me to do is I can wall Chandelure if she wants to click Shadow Ball, which I don't have great switch-ins to, and even if she clicks something like Fire Blast, I'll live and I'll be able to pop my Papa Berry, giving me the extra health of another plus 50 health, which will make me pretty healthy against it, allowing me to Parting Shot or maybe switch out again if she's Scarf. So I just think that this set allows me to pass, or not pass, but get my Parting Shot into one of my sweepers and go on from there. Next, we have Toph, or my Zygarde, aka Toph, aka blind, but I still got it. So this thing is an interesting set, I would say. As you can see, it's especially defensive with a ton of Spadef bulk and a good amount of speed investment. What my speed investment does is it allows me to outspeed her entire team after +1, anything that's not Scarfed. So something like Noivern. And then if she brings in Noivern, I can sub up on like a Draco or something, and then I can just set up on everything. After, I'm also running Coil because on something like Excadrill, if I Parting Shot it, I can then wall it even harder. If I get a Substitute up, I can then get a Coil up and basically wall her entire team. Hippowdon, Hippowdon, I can wall this as long as it doesn't have Whirlwind, which it could likely have, but I still think that this set is very, very effective. It's also a good switch into something like Chandelure, and it can take on something like Excadrill or Kartana because it is a very bulky Pokemon. So I think that this thing has a very, very good chance of sweeping, as well as my Volcarona. So I have a feeling it'll be like a race to who sweeps first. If things go according to plan, as long as I keep hazards away, as long as I'm able to get rid of Pokemon that could potentially revenge kill or check either of those mons, I think that there's a very good chance I have a sweep in this game. And then my last Pokemon is my boy Tangrowth, aka Appa, aka I couldn't think of anything else to name it. So this thing, it's a pretty standard set. I normally don't run 252, 252, but I needed to check most of her Pokemon, most of her physical attackers. So it really does wall Excadrill, Hippowdon to an extent, Kartana, and Mega Sharpedo. I think none of those Pokemon can do even close to 50% unless they're boosted up. So like an SD Z move like Kartana or Excadrill could be an issue, but I think that I can prevent a Swords Dance or from them, given the rest of my Pokemon really take on something like Excadrill pretty well. And if it is a Z move Kartana, then as long as it's not speed boosting after a beast boost, I can revenge kill it with something like my Diancie, as long as it's still alive. So I think that her physical attackers aren't too big of a deal given the Pokemon that I have. I have a really bulky team, but also a team that has a very good chance at setting up and sweeping. I think that this team is pretty balanced. It's not like hyper offense or anything. You can see that I have a couple fast Pokemon that are supposed to just do damage and prevent certain things, and like prevent sweeps and all that. But I also have a lot of bulky Pokemon that can check physical and special attackers pretty well. And then I have my sweepers, physical and a special sweeper, depending on the type of team that she brings. I think that I have a really good feeling about this match. I think that I have a really good matchup, which I'm going to probably be saying a lot throughout the season just because I love my team so much. So with that, I think this is goodbye. I'm playing my match on next Saturday, or this upcoming Saturday, and today's currently Thursday. So if you see any changes during the match, any changes to my sets during the match, it's probably because I played a couple more practice matches and found that certain Pokemon was giving me more trouble than I'd hoped. So yeah, I'll talk to you guys next time. Bye.